Market update here on the 27th. So I'll just say in the very beginning, it does not look good in the overall market, as I talked about in the video earlier. And we're starting here on QQQ. This looks like it's corrective, but I'm going to go ahead and hold out on that. Maybe this is supposed to be a 5-wave move right here, and this is supposed to be a wave 1. It's very sloppy. But if this is a corrective move, then I'm looking for 335 on both this A wave and on this W wave. So that would make this a C wave of the overall Y wave. And that count right there is within that count on the 5th wave, we have 1. And then zoom in a little bit farther, and you can see here we have wave 1. Wave 2 is about to start. Probably get a little bit of green early next week. And then we're going to see this down to 335. So that's kind of my thoughts on QQQ. We'll see if it ends up being corrective. We'll know if it's not corrective because it will bounce. It will do a shallow bounce and then come lower. So if that happens, then we know it's a wave 3, and that's when it's going to start getting really ugly. So we'll see if this ends up being corrective. It's still possible it can go to new highs, considering we have. That's still possible, but I don't think it's that likely because of the charts that I've looked at. So I think this move could turn into being a 5-wave move or an impulsive move, and we got to watch out because let's just see if this is actually. I think it's already broken outside of the parallel line. Yeah. So this is probably, there's a good chance of this being a nested move. And if that's the case, then 335 is just the 3rd wave target. We'd bounce and we go lower. So I don't like this setup at all. And obviously I think the market is going to go lower over the next 6 months. SPY, same thing. It could be in the same wave, a nested wave 3, in which my target is 402. If it goes to 402, then you're looking at a bounce to 410, and then you're looking at potentially 381. There's a big demand zone though here at 393, and the 1.61 fib is at 415. We've already broken that. So this is pretty bad right here. This is like, if you turn on CNBC, they're not going to talk about this, but this is like a complete reversal of what we've been seeing all year. And we're in the beginning stages of a collapse for a wave C. So 402 is a target next week. If I zoom in here, you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here for wave 3, 4, and then we're currently in wave 4, and so I would expect a wave 5 down to 402. So it could be war news. Who knows what it's gonna be? But I would expect another move lower to 402 on Monday, Tuesday, and then everyone's probably gonna think that that's the bottom. So if they think that's the bottom, and we bounce to 410, then it could get really ugly. The best case scenario for bulls is that this is a diagonal, which is very possible. Diagonal, we're looking at 402 being the bottom. and then we'd run up here to minimum of 428, potentially up here to 445, gap fills everywhere. So for a lot of people, this would be a good opportunity if you're watching this and you don't want to deal with the downturn, because if you have positions that are long term, you have to hedge them. Otherwise, you have to look at your portfolio losing money every day. On a second wave, you just get rid of everything. You just sell everything up here, and because again, even if we do go to new highs and I'm wrong, you're gonna gain like 20-30 bucks over the second wave. So if you liquidate everything right here, put it in a money market fund, no stress, 5%, and instead of waiting for this to go all the way down here to 330, probably by the springtime. So that's my thoughts on it. I thought about doing the same thing in my long-term portfolio because I have positions that I'm going to have to hedge that I own if this crashes all the way down here to 330. And I'm just thinking, like, on a second wave, why not just take profit, call it a good year, and then just trade short term for the next 6 months. So I've thought about doing that too, and I might do that just because, like, what are the gains of doing this? If I'm long in my portfolio, what are the upsides to being delta neutral or potentially delta negative, but then your position goes way down and you make a ton of money, you realize a bunch of money, and you have to pay taxes on that. So why not just take profit on the position and just being all cash in a money market fund? I don't know. That's my thoughts on it. So again, SPY is probably going to 402. Could be a third wave of a third wave, or it's probably the end of a diagonal. Tesla makes me think it's a third wave of a third wave. The reason why is we have a 5-wave move completing probably next week. We're probably going down here to 185, 190. So that would only be wave 3 though. So we would have 1, 2, 3 bounce, and I'd be targeting 172. And so you can see here, Tesla's basically on the same structure as SPY and QQQ. So we'd be completing wave 3. Well, it'll be a little bit different, but we'd be completing wave 3 next week. On SPY, we'd be completing wave 3 of 3. And on Tesla, completing wave 3 of 3. And then we'd bounce and then go lower. So it's going to be interesting to see if SPY is in a nested move, which it looks like it's a very good possibility. And Tesla would probably hit 185, 190, pull back, and a target be 172. And that would only be wave 3 though. Then we'd be going to, no, that'd be wave 3 overall. So we'd have 1, 2, 3, pull back to 193, and then you take this, and again we're looking for like 140. So 140 for the overall I think I confused myself here. So this is wave 3 of 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 172. Yeah, that's right. Pull back to 193, and they're looking for 140 for 5-wave move. And if that's 5 waves at 140, and these were all ABC moves, then I would suspect that we're going to get something like that. The whole thing would be WXY. So again, Tesla's on the same wavelength move as SPY QQQ. Let's zoom in here a little bit and just take a look at the chart. I think it's in the same structure as QQQ and SPY right here too. It looks to me like it's about to start a wave 3. Very messy wave 1 if it is. It's possible that it goes higher up here to, it's not possible for that actually. I think it's 1, 2, and we're starting a wave 3. I'm looking for 192, pullback 185. So next week is probably going to be really bad. That's my thoughts on it. Microsoft, again, another one that's just setting up to fall off a cliff. I talked about this move for a while. We hit the supply zone right here. I sold my position around 340 something, 340, maybe 338, 340. I don't remember. I sold a position around, maybe it was 345 actually. Yeah, 345. I had 200 shares there, and then I sold the rest. I had covered calls on around 335. Anyway, so we have ABC here. This was wave 1 down or wave A, in which we always just think this is wave A, wave B, wave C. But this can be a 5-wave move too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's just see here. The 1.61 fib is at right at 280. So 280, pull back to 292. And I'd be looking for $250 for the first wave. If this ends up being a 5-wave move, if it's an ABC move, we come down here to 290 and then go higher. So, and again, this can extend to, like, this is just a projection. If that's only a wave 1 or a wave A, then we could get something like that, kind of similar to Tesla. Or I guess it could be a 5-wave move down here. This could be an expanded flat. An expanded flat targets would be maximum 150, but anywhere from 240 to 150. So watch out on Microsoft. We zoom in here on smaller time frames. You'll see the setup is not good. It's great if you're short though. We got 5 waves here. Second wave. And this could get a lot worse than this. This could just end up being the, let's just see where this would go. So 315, pull back, and this could just be wave 1 too. But this setup is not good at all. Overall, I would say minimum 290. And that is just based on this. About 293. So Microsoft doesn't look good. Tesla doesn't look good. Let's go over Apple. Apple, this can be A or 1. And I think this is probably going to a minimum of 157 before it goes higher. That's the 1.61 fib. There's a gap fill around there as well. But this would have to be this is probably wave 1 right here. And I don't know, this right here is kind of weird. I guess it's a 5-wave move. This might be a fourth wave, fifth wave. Doesn't really matter. I guess I can move it right here. I've always considered this a B wave, but I guess it could be a fifth wave, and this was a very weird fourth wave. So wherever you want to put it, right at the bottom here, this is either wave 1 or wave 1 right here. If it's wave 1 right there, then we're in the middle of a third wave, and I'd be looking for, I think it's right here, because that makes more sense for where we're going to. And that makes a lot of sense too, because we have one more move down in the overall market. So 164 is a target on Apple. So maybe 1, 2, something like that. Going into earnings. Earnings are on the 2nd. Something like that. So, yeah, I mean, that could be the bottom right there, or that's a wave 3. Let's just see. Yeah, that would break outside the parallel line. So we'll see what happens with Apple. I'm looking for 157 though. Nvidia. So Nvidia, if it breaks, so this is a fourth wave right here. Let's just zoom in. So it's kind of in the same spot as the rest of them, except for we did cross back into the first wave here, but I guess it could be a diagonal. It's kind of a tricky one, but I think that it has another move down as well. And this will be kind of telling right here. Is it going to break this parallel line, or is it going to hold it? If it breaks the parallel line, then I would say it's potentially a wave 3 down. If we zoom out here on the monthly chart, on the log chart, this is where I think we're at. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think the third wave is probably complete. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're looking for a fourth wave here. I don't know how far down it's going to go. And I don't think that drawing a parallel line is going to really help out that much, but yeah, it's not going to help out that much. It's really hard to say because it's gone up so quickly from 100 to 400 that it's going to be very skewed because the 0.23 fib is usually the target. But look where the 0.23 fib is. It's at 102. So it's possible that Nvidia goes 102, but I kind of have my doubts about that. I think that it's probably more likely that it retraces to like $200 or $300. So I think that if we zoom in here now, let's go to the daily. I just think we're in the beginning stages of a fourth wave. So this comes down here and breaks this parallel line. It doesn't really matter to me because it can still be an A wave. It could be A, bounce, C down here, and then bounce, and then go lower than that. So we'll see what happens in the video on Monday. Probably looking for like 395, 385. Amazon. So like I said in the video earlier, this is probably actually a wave 5. And then we're probably making a This might be a wave C right here again. So 1, 2. This would be like that. So you can gap fill at 135 and then head down here. I'd be looking for after that 110, pull back, and then probably like 116 and probably something around $100 for the first 5 waves. Zoom out here. So back down to April levels. And then potentially that's only wave 1. It's still possible that this is a wave 4 too, but I'm just looking at it from the bear perspective right now because I think the market's going to go down. But I would be looking for, oh, actually right here. Like $80 on Amazon. So maybe the 5 waves just go straight down to $80. So yeah, Amazon is potentially starting the final move down as well. And so it's really, honestly, Amazon's probably one of the better ones overall for investing. Google, it didn't really move at all today. And I thought that this was going to be a wave 4. It still can be. But similar to Amazon, this might have been the wave 5 right here. Excuse me. This might have been the wave 5 right here. Let's just look at this though. Because this can be a nested move right here. Where this is actually, because look at this big move right here is got to be a wave 3. And that's exactly what we're getting. So Google does not look good either. And yeah, you can see what's going to happen. Let's zoom out here on Google. And you're probably looking at $80 on Google, maybe by April or May. So again, similar. It's the exact same as Amazon, basically. You're probably looking at a 30% drop from here. So, all right, I think is that pretty much it? I think that's all of them for the most part. Oh, Meta. Meta is the only one that makes me think we might have another move higher. And that's because, but again, it could have topped out right here, and we're just making an ABC move. However, I don't know why. I feel like Meta is the trickiest chart. So I think that Meta is in a different count here. It retraced 50% basically. So this has got to be a wave 2. It doesn't have to be a wave 2, but I think it probably is a wave 2. And so maybe Meta won't come down as much. So this is probably wave 1, wave 2. I mean, I'd be very surprised if Meta came all the way down here to lower lows. So It's kind of hard to tell what's going to happen here. Maybe this ends up being a wave 2. I guess I won't speculate on the long term right now. We just know the short term, we're looking for 265 here. This is an expanded flat. $265 is the target. Potentially 244. So right here, a nested move. We have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So look for a minimum of this gap fill, potentially 244. So hopefully I gave you enough evidence in this video that the next 6 months are more than likely going to be absolutely terrible if you're a long-term investor. And if you're buying any dips right now, then you're probably going to get destroyed. So I would probably be careful with that unless it's like short-term trading. However, we might be finished with this correction early next week at 402 on SPY, 335 on QQQ. And we'll see though. If it's a nested wave 3, we're not going to be finished with it. We're just going to keep on going down. So that is pretty much it for now. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Like, subscribe if you're not already. And I'll probably do some growth stock videos over the weekend on SoFi, maybe Palantir. We'll see. Anyway, have a good weekend. Talk to you later.